Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
For this is what the Sovereign Lord says.
Why do you need prophets to tell people who you are and what you want?
If you can justify everything that the God of the Bible has done, then you can justify any of your behavior.
A lot of this mentality is trickling into what is now mainstream right-wing Christianity.
I am capable of empathy greater than this God of the Bible.
This is a Bible that they tell kids. This is the good Lord. This is the good book. He is fantasizing about murder, mass murder.
Head over to sacrilegiousdiscourse.com right now to find out how to leave us a review or support us on Patreon.
Hey there, sinners and saints. It's your favorite Bible-bashing duo from Sacrilegious Discourse, and we need your help.
That's right, folks. We're raising funds for some heavenly equipment and a studio that doesn't sound like it's in the depths of hell.
Our current setup, let's just say it's more apocalypse than audiophile.
So if you want to hear us dissect the Bible without the background noise of demonic squirrels, chip in a few bucks.
We're aiming for $5,000 to upgrade our audio and build a studio worthy of blasphemous banter.
Donate today and help us spread the good word of atheism.
You can find a link right on our homepage, sacrilegiousdiscourse.com. Every dollar counts.
Even if it's from your collection plate. Welcome to Sacrilegious Discourse.
I'm husband.
And I'm wife.
Together, we're reading the Bible for the very first time.
We grew up without religion and wanted to know what all the fuss was about.
Well, what have we learned so far?
That God is a dick, and apparently some people believe in talking donkeys.
We're not trying to pass ourselves off as experts.
Nope, we're just reading the Bible for the first time and giving our first take reaction.
If you'd like to join us in this venture, you might consider starting at episode 1.
Otherwise, jump in wherever you like.
All right, let's go read the Bible.
Yeah, let's get to it. Husband!
Wife!
Do you know what today is?
I do.
What is it?
It's a day.
It's Q&A Saturday.
That is correct.
That's what it is.
So what are we Qing and Aing today?
We are going to talk about David, and we are going to talk about the Moabites.
Oh, okay. And this is covering chapters 16 through 20. Man, I'm like a week behind, apparently.
You are, right?
All right. So go ahead and get into this, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Hey, wife.
Yes, husband.
Did you know that we are now on Patreon?
Yes, because you told me, but also, no, tell me more.
So we're on Patreon now.
Are we?
We are, and our supporters can go there and support us, and we have multiple levels all the way up to You Killed God.
That sounds really drastic and escalated quickly-ish.
Well, no, there's multiple levels before there, so it escalates on a sliding scale of, cheap to not cheap.
Oh.
But, we can definitely use any amount, so, any support is always appreciated.
So what exactly is Patreon?
It's a place where you can show your support for our podcast. And
just our podcast?
Any podcast or any performer. But, we're the ones that, you're listening to right now. So maybe you should, support us. That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. But we love you anyway.
So all you got to do is go to Patreon, look up Sacrilegious Discourse. It's actually patreon.com/Sacrilegious Discourse is our actual main page there. So head on over and send us some love.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to talk about David. Before I get into Moab,
Yeah.
I just want to make 2 little notes.
Just
okay?
2?
Just 2.
Okay.
Little notes. First, I don't know that you recall this. I certainly didn't. But David was known as the sweet psalmist of Israel.
Was he now?
He was a sweet psalmist.
That is news to me.
Yeah. Well, apparently it was mentioned in 2 Samuel chapter 23.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was.
I'm sure.
But
whatever.
I don't recall it.
I don't either.
So, yeah, he was known as the sweet psalmist because he wrote so many psalms.
Yeah.
And he especially wrote psalms to thank the Lord on the day the Ark of the Covenant was brought to Jerusalem.
I mean,
Remember
they
that
were
one that
very
I
in
sang?
love with each other. Like, thank
Yeah.
you, God. Yada, yada, yada.
Well, apparently-
God loves you too, and blah, blah, blah.
Apparently, some of his psalms appear in the book of Psalms.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So
he's like an actual psalm author, huh?
yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And that also has to do with like why he was assigning specific important people the role of music, because
Right,
he
it was very important to him.
Yeah.
Right.
He was writing all this.
That makes some sense.
Right?
Yeah.
I found that very okay. I'll accept that.
Okay.
Sweet psalmist.
Sweet psalmist.
Okay.
That needs to be like a precursor title whenever we mention him now.
Mhm,
The sweet
mhm.
psalmist David.
David. Giant killer, sweet psalmist.
I say we just leave the giant killer off because that wasn't really him.
It wasn't him.
So
And there weren't giants.
right, there's always that. There's always that. Yeah.
Okay.
Nor were there talking donkeys
Right.
or talking snakes.
Or unicorns.
Right.
Or dragons.
I mean, there's none of the bullshit.
No.
Yeah.
No. Okay, so the second point is we were like, why did God say no to David's offer of building him?
Right. Yeah. It
A
doesn't. I mean,
house,
like, who
right?
gives a shit, right? If he wants to
Yeah.
build you a fucking temple, let him build you a fucking temple.
Well, the truth of the matter is
The truth, huh?
The truth.
We're talking about truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
David was a man of war.
Whoa.
Even though it's God's fault he was worry.
was it though?
I mean, whatever.
It was springtime. That's why he was worried.
Yeah, see? And God wanted a man of peace to build his temple.
Oh.
That's why Solomon...
So David wasn't quite good enough, huh?
Correct.
Hmm.
Correct.
Hmm.
And Solomon was the one. His son Solomon got to build the temple.
He was peaceful, I guess. Like he had a lot of people visit him and
He had
bring
all
him
these
shit,
wives.
and he had lots of wives.
And he had a hot tub. And
I mean, you really couldn't go warring if you wanted to
And
have
he was-
sex with all those wives.
he was so wise. Remember? He was the
he
wisest,
was the wisest ever
in all the land.
Yeah,
Ever. On the planet.
forever and ever.
Forever. He's still the wisest.
But God still doesn't like him at the end of the book.
Right.
So
Exactly.
there's that.
So even he wasn't really good enough.
Right. Yeah.
So there's those 2 points. Okay?
Yeah.
But now, let's get on to David with regard to the Moabs.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So there's a question that I came across that I thought was so fucking interesting.
Okay.
Where is David's birth story?
David's birth story?
Like him being born, and then we learn all about him.
Well, they kind of just found him on a fucking farm.
Right, but like Abraham is introduced with a whole genealogy. King Saul is introduced with a genealogy.
Right.
But other than naming his father as Jesse,
yeah.
David's genealogy is completely missing from the book of Samuel.
Interesting.
And that is a book with more than 40 chapters dedicated to David's fucking life.
Huh.
But they don't talk about him in childhood at all.
Right, right.
So the Bible tells us the names of the mothers of all kings in the Davidic dynasty but one.
David.
David's mother is not mentioned
Huh.
at all.
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy.
Yeah. The Bible doesn't tell the story of David's birth, give his genealogy, or talk about his mother, perhaps because of a controversial element in his lineage,
Okay.
which it prefers to avoid discussing.
No. Can the Bible be tainted with controversial lineage?
Yes.
No way.
Do you
Controversial lineage.
Do you know what that controversial lineage is?
Based on what you introduced the chapter or this conversation as, I'm guessing he was part Moabite.
He was through his mother. No, his grandmother Ruth.
Oh, that's right. I forgot his. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Okay. So he's like quarter Moabite.
Yeah. No, he's an 8th Moabite.
8th. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
I can never get those things straight.
Yeah. David's, specifically the tradition found in the book of Ruth of David's descent from a Moabite woman,
Yeah.
is simply one version of an ancient tradition connecting David's family with Moab, who are non-Israelites, of course.
Right.
So, there are 2 passing comments in the books of Samuel and Kings that imply that this tradition was already known to the authors of these works. So they knew.
They just didn't
and
want to admit it.
They on purpose left these bits out.
So wait, I have to just go with this a little bit because this means hypothetically, if we go with this from the Christian perspective, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Israelites are God's chosen people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And David is the beginning of like it's where we start to like track the lineage of Christ when we get to the New Testament,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're saying that the Son of God is not purely from the chosen people.
Correct. But yes and no, because let us not forget that the Moabites come from Lot.
Right.
Remember, Lot was the one who was humped by his 2 daughters.
Sure.
So,
well, but how far back do we take this? Because hypothetically,
They
according
all
to the
came
Bible,
from
they all
Adam.
came from Adam and Eve, right?
Right.
We could go back as far as you want, but when we're actually talking about the beginning of what Israelites are and the Israelite clans, this is not, they were not part of that group.
Right.
So, and that fails a test, in my opinion.
Oh, no,
like
I totally agree.
that fails something.
Right.
Like something's off there.
I totally
as
agree.
far as what they want to portray, anyway.
That's why they don't mention it. They just neglect to mention it.
Right.
So when David runs away from Saul, remember? He ran away when he was like,
well, yeah.
Saul was trying to kill him.
Fucking spears at him.
Yeah. So he flees to all these various different places, right? Including the Philistine city of Gath to become a mercenary soldier on their behalf.
Right.
Remember?
Yeah.
But when he wants to keep his parents safe, he chooses to send them to Moab. And that's in 1 Samuel.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would he do that, right?
Because he's part Moabite.
He left them with the king of Moab. Not just the Moabites.
Wow.
The king of Moab, right?
So this guy's got some ties even high up in the Moabites. That's interesting. So
Right?
this is almost like he formed an alliance to get his power or something.
Who knows?
Somehow, maybe.
Who knows? So his parents stayed with him all the time that David was in the Philistines. Or was with the Philistines.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So why would a simple shepherd from a Judahite family hold such intimate connections with the king of Moab?
Right.
Even more puzzling is why would the fucking king of Moab agree to protect David's family?
Right.
Like, why would he go to the king and then why would the king say yes?
Right.
Like, both those are two separate questions.
Yeah, that's a big ask. Like, you're asking a fucking king.
Yeah.
So now,
how did you even get into the king?
Now, to be fair, David was killing his tens of thousands.
He was.
So, like, he was a powerful, general.
All right, so I will maybe give you that's how he got into the throne room.
Sure.
He was like well known or whatever as a killer of thousands.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So he could walk into the throne room and get an appointment with the king.
Right.
I will give you that much. Why would he ask this king of all people to protect his family? And why would the king be like, yeah, sure, no probs?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So the king of Moab's behavior would make more sense if we can assume that this account was part of a Davidic tradition, which assumed David's family ties to the Moabites, which is obviously what we've been getting at this whole time, right? Yeah. So there are a lot of rabbis who seem to pick up on that thread and explain that David's great-grandmother Ruth was the daughter of Eglon, king of Moab, who was himself, according to those same rabbis, the grandson of Balak.
Oh, wow.
Right?
Damn, talk about some tie-ins, right?
Now, that may not be true.
Right.
Because this is just a story that...
But that's interesting because Balak was... Oh, wait. No, Balak was the... Okay. No, he was the one that summoned Balaam. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I had my
your B
people
words,
correct.
Right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Okay, so he... Okay. Sorry.
Right?
Go ahead, continue.
So that's interesting, right?
It is very interesting, yeah.
So this may merely be an attempt to connect Ruth with the only named Moabite kings from the Bible before the time of Ruth.
Sure.
But it's just interesting that they do that nonetheless.
Right.
Regardless, it seems likely that the rabbis picked up on the actual problem, which is the inexplicable behavior of David and the king of Moab.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Whatever they did, they were like, there's a problem here and we need to make a fix.
Yeah.
And so they did.
Right.
And
I wonder who's more offended by the fact that there's Moabite there, right? Is it is it Judaism or is it Christianity? I wonder who that offends more as far as their thinking of what the Bible holds and can and attests to.
I would think that Judaism would be more offended than Christians.
Right, because
I don't think Christians trace shit
don't
back
give a
that
fuck.
far.
Right.
They don't give a fuck.
Right. But Judaism does very much go from the fact that they are God's people, Israelites.
And these names and this history of this people
very
is
important.
very important to them.
Right.
Like the oral tradition of passing down all these stories and arguing over, like when I say argue, like a Jewish argument is not the same as like a argument where they're in discussion over interpreting all the laws and,
Right.
you know, the Torah and all that.
I do like, though, that the fact that I think I appreciate the people that are like rabbis more so than I do preachers.
Oh,
and
I
priests.
totally.
Because I feel like even if it hurts them some, they'll study it. They'll answer the questions that may not be nice to them. You know, like they're willing to dig into it and be like, you know what?
They
Maybe
want
we're
the
wrong.
answers more than they want to be right.
Right.
And
right.
I can appreciate that because that
at least in the studying like that we've done
Yes.
so far with this Bible.
Oh yeah, and we're totally generalizing.
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, the people that found this information were rabbis.
Mm-hmm.
So like the information you have here is from rabbis, right?
Yeah, yeah. So
that's very interesting to me because it seems like it would hurt their story worse.
Yeah, but so that's interesting. So it may be, obviously, this is what we've been building to, that David was actually very closely related and acquainted, not just related,
right,
but and acquainted with the Moabite king. And if that is the case, it would definitely be something the author of the book of Samuel would not want readers to know.
Right,
Okay?
Yeah.
So, okay.
That's why they left it out.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Because, I mean, there's no other reason to leave that shit out.
But it's funny, though, they tiptoe around it enough that it's still able to be found out if you just think about it.
If you dig a little bit.
Which, you know, on the surface, I didn't think about it. But this is
either.
our first go-through, you know?
Oh,
like,
yeah,
we don't claim to be, you know, scholars. We are digging into things and we are interested in stuff like this.
Sure.
But on a first read-through, I would have never picked up on that.
Here's the thing. I am interested in the work of others. I am not interested in doing the work myself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I am just interested enough to read what other people have put together.
Honestly, with the Bible, that's way too much fucking lineage to dig through.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
On the surface, the stories are fun sometimes, and they're interesting, and they're somewhat historical and things like that, right? Mm-hmm. But if you really want to dig into what the meat of the Old Testament is, it's very much based in lineage. So.
Yeah. So David's war against Moab and his harsh treatment of their army later seems completely out of place considering that David's great-grandmother was a Moabite, right? Ruth, right? Yeah. So, you know, he went from, my family, please take care of them, to now I'm going to wipe you all out. Right. Right? Yeah. So that
But was that some writer saying that...
There's some speculation that I will get to in a minute.
Okay.
Anyway, you know, considering that he was of Moabite descent and that he had entrusted his mother and father into the care of the Moabites, it may have been that the Moabites mistreated or even killed David's parents and perhaps even his brothers. Oh. Like after he became king. Okay. Right?
All right.
Like that would make sense.
Maybe David didn't do something that they wanted, so they were like using them as leverage.
As hostages.
Right.
Right. And I mean, that makes sense too.
Right.
Like we went with you out on this limb because you are family, but we can only go so far. And
power's power.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, if I have a chance to use something as leverage against you, I'm going to.
Sure.
And apparently that didn't work out for him.
Or also maybe they helped put David on the throne, as you suggested earlier. Right. And then David went back on some promises that he had made, and that made them kill his family, and so that made David clearly there was something happened between the time that he brought his family there and was seen by the king and made this ask, and the king agreed, and it was totally cool, and then his family's never mentioned again. Right. And the next time we hear about him, anything, David is trying to wipe their shit out. Right. Right. So something happened.
Yeah. And that would be an interesting story to if there is a story about it, that would be an interesting story.
It would.
There's probably not. I'm sure that's lost. Maybe it's in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of the Chronicles, the Chronicle.
I doubt it, because that's an entirely different author, and they would not have wanted to talk about David's relation to the Moabites. And you would have to address that.
Right.
In order to talk about what happened and why.
Right.
So there was also an element of fulfillment by David of earlier prophecy involved, in which Balaam, who had been summoned by Balak, an earlier king of Moab, right, following Israel's exodus from Egypt for the purpose of cursing the Israelites, instead blessing them, right, and specifically indicated that a king of Israel would someday crush the forehead of Moab. So,
okay.
And that happened. So,
but I think we covered at some other point, though, that is this an actual, like, is the fight with Moab, was that an actual historical account, or was that something that was contrived?
I don't know. There is a point from which it's hard to tell where the line is between this person is actually, we're talking about a tribe, not a individual person, versus, okay, but now we are actually talking about, a person.
Right.
So I don't know when it goes from person to tribe.
No, that's not what I was asking.
Okay.
I was asking, so like some of the battles are real historical events, right? Some of the battles that they talk about, like when we go into the Asimov book sometimes, they're like, that never actually happened, that we can figure out. Like there's no historical account of that actually happening. Right. So some of it is like purposeful storytelling to maybe complete a prophecy, right?
Got it. Okay.
And I'm just curious if that was a historical event or if it was just contrived.
That I couldn't tell you. Okay. I don't know enough about either.
Right.
So,
well, and that's all right. I mean, we don't know everything. So if somebody does know the answer, maybe we can like touch on it again at some other point. But I was just, something that crossed my mind is maybe that's a contrived fight that was done versus maybe, I'm curious if it was real or not. That's all.
Right.
So.
Well, I had to, again, do a rabbit hole this week because this whole Chronicles thing is just the retelling of shit we already know.
Right.
So.
Well, and this is how you know that our fucking shit is like off the cuff, because I'm here sitting here asking a question that we didn't research the answer to.
Right.
Oh, well.
But that's all I have for today. That was the rabbit hole that I brought you.
Yeah.
And didn't really answer any questions, but certainly presented some interesting food for thought.
I actually was very interested in this one. This was really good. I do want to mention one thing before we get off here, and that is in the beginning of our podcast for the next few days, so going forward, there is going to be an announcement coming up. We'd love for you all to pay attention to that coming up here. I'm not going to say what it is just yet because we don't have all the things put together. But at the beginning of every podcast between now and next Thursday, there will be an announcement of something coming up, which we would love for you all to participate in if you are able.
Yep.
So clear your schedules now for Thursday night, and we will get an official announcement tomorrow as to what's going on.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's all we got for tonight, and we will be back tomorrow with...
Sacrilegious Book Club.
It took you a minute.
It did. It always does.
Wait, what are we doing?
What's tomorrow? Okay.
We'll also have the weekly replay tomorrow, and then we'll be back on Monday with...
First Chronicles Chapter 21.
Awesome. We'll see you guys then.
Worcestershire sauce.
Hey, wife. I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.
Hey wife, I guess that's the end?
But husband, that's just sad.
It doesn't have to be. We are on lots of social media platforms like Twitter. Our handle there is sacrilegious_D.
For D's nuts.
Oh my God. Stop doing that. Anyway, we're also on Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest. There's a link to all of our social media sites at our website.
Ooh, we have a website?
Yeah, it's sacrilegiousdiscourse.com, where you can also find a link to our merch shop.
We have a merch shop?
Yep, we have podcast-themed clothing, mugs, notebooks, and more, as well as an atheist and science-themed products.
Wow, our fans should really go check that out right now.
Definitely. They can get in touch with us by sending an email to sacrilegiousdiscourse@gmail.com. But before they do that, we could really use some help.
Oh yeah? With what?
Well, it's not free running the podcast, and we need some financial support in order to get better equipment, which will free up time so we can concentrate on our podcast and our fans.
Okay, so what should they do?
Head over to patreon.com/sacrilegious discourse and sign up as a contributor on our podcast. Supporters there receive additional bi-weekly episodes that we record just for our Patreon members for as little as $2 a month.
Also, we'd really appreciate it if you would like and subscribe on whatever platform you're using.
And Apple Podcast reviews help us out tremendously.
Like and subscribe, leave an Apple review, join us on Twitter, support us on Patreon. That's a lot of instructions. Don't forget to say thanks.
Thanks.
Okay, bye.